very warm welcome to our special edition question hour from the Parliament House complex, where we bring you important unstart questions asked by the members of the upper house during the 250th session of the Rajya Sabha and the response given by the government. I'm Kriti Mishra, and joining me is my colleague Rajat Kain.
Thank you for watching the show.
So Rajat, let's commence the question hour show and take our viewers through important questions and answers. And the first question that we've picked up in this edition is from member Satyanarayan Jatia, and this one pertains to the Ministry of Human Resource Development. And Mr. Jatia has asked the government about establishing educational institutions at par with global standards.
Well, the ministry in their elaborate reply answered that the ministry has launched an integrated scheme for school education, Samagra Shiksha, with effect from 2018 and 19, which subsumes the three erstwhile centrally sponsored schemes of Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan and Teachers Education. The new integrated scheme envisages school education as continuum from preschool to senior secondary level and aims to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education. Also under Samagra Shiksha, the government is implementing the scheme of vocationalization of school education to integrate National Skills Qualification Framework complaint vocational education with general academic education, with an aim to prepare educated, employable and competitive human resource for various sectors of economy and global market for students from class ranging 9th to 12th standard. Till 2018-19, the scheme has been implemented in 8,654 schools with reported enrollment of more than 10 lakh students.
In fact, member Satyanarayan Jatia joined us on the question hour show, and this is what he had to say on government's response to his question. Listen in. आपने बेहद ही महत्वपूर्ण सवाल पूछा है कि किस तरह से जो भारत के एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशंस हैं, उनकी जो वर्ल्ड रैंकिंग्स है, उसमें वर्ल्ड रैंकिंग में और भारत ऊपर उठे. किस तरह का मुद्दा है, कैसे आप देखते हैं सरकार के जवाब को?
वास्तव में ये प्रश्न हमारे सामने अभी आज़ादी के बाद से और उसके पहले से ही खड़ा हुआ है. हम अपनी शिक्षा को इस प्रकार से चाहते हैं कि निश्चित रूप से शिक्षा का उसकी उपादेयता एक ज्ञान बढ़ाने के लिए हो, दूसरा उसको और जीविका के लिए माध्यम बनने का काम हो. हमारे यहाँ तो बहुत पहले से इस बात को कहा गया है, विद्या ददाति विनयम, विनयाद याति पात्रताम. विद्या से पात्रता मिलती है, पात्रत्वात् धनम आपनोति, पात्रता से ही धन प्राप्त होता है. धनाद धर्मम तथा सुखम. तो बाकी की जो सुविधाएं हैं वो धन के माध्यम से प्राप्त होती है. तो इस दृष्टि से विद्या वो हो जो मनुष्य को स्वाभिमानी बना सके, विद्या वो हो जो मनुष्य को रोजगार के अवसर प्रदान कर सके, और विद्या वो हो जो नए आविष्कार करने के लिए, अनुसंधान करने के लिए, नई नई युक्तियाँ और नए नए वातावरण को, परिवेश को खड़ा करने के लिए. और तो दुनिया में आज हम जहाँ भी हैं, निश्चित रूप से हमारी शिक्षा का जो आयाम होना चाहिए वो रोज़गार से संबंधित होना चाहिए हर स्तर पर, चाहे वो माध्यमिक स्तर की शिक्षा हो, चाहे फिर वो महाविद्यालयीन स्तर की शिक्षा हो, चाहे फिर शोध और अनुसंधान की शिक्षा हो. तो उसके कारण से हर क्षेत्र में उस प्रकार के रोज़गारों से संबद्धता उसकी चाहिए. हमारे यहाँ सभी प्रकार के काम हैं, तकनीकी काम है, कुशल काम है, अकुशल काम है, अर्धकुशल काम है. तो इस दृष्टि से शिक्षा के माध्यम से हम स्वाभिमान बनाना चाहते हैं और देश की प्रतिष्ठा करना चाहते हैं. आज दुनिया में आज हमारा स्थान नहीं है, तो वो होना चाहिए और होगा तब जबकि हम अपनी तकनीकी के आधार पर विकसित करके, जो टेक्नोलॉजी दुनिया में चल रही है उसे संबद्ध करके, और जो शिक्षा हम दे रहे हैं वो सीधा सीधा वह उस तकनीकी के, उस विज्ञान के आधार पर, उस उद्योग के आधार पर, उद्यम के आधार पर उसको प्रभावित कर सके.
Moving on, the next question was asked by member Syed Nasir Hussain, and he sought to know from the Ministry of Women and Child Development the continuum of financial assistance provided by the government to state governments and the union territories for setting up and maintenance of child care institutions.
In the response, the government says that Ministry of Women and Child Development is implementing a centrally sponsored scheme which is known as Child Protection Services, or CPS, erstwhile Integrated Child Protection Scheme, for providing financial assistance to state governments as well as union territories with the primary objective of care and protection of children in distress conditions through institutional and non-institutional care. The primary responsibility of implementation of this scheme lies with states and union territories. Let's move on to the next question that has been asked by member Pratap Singh Bajwa, and this one pertains to the Ministry of Tourism. And Mr. Bajwa has asked the government about the steps that it has taken to promote cruise tourism at ports in India.
Well, answering the question, the Tourism Ministry said that it has recognized cruise tourism as niche tourism product in order to promote India a 365 days destination and attract tourists with specific interest. The steps taken to promote cruise tourism include developing appropriate infrastructure at ports for handling cruise vessels and facilitating ease of movement of passengers as given under. Cabotage waived till 5th February 2029 for foreign flag passenger cruise ships to call at more than one Indian port. Simplified standard operating procedures have been put in place for handling cruise ships across the country. New initiatives like e-visa and e-landing card have been introduced by Immigration Department for quick immigration clearance, modernization of cruise terminals and construction of new cruise terminals. Guaranteed berth to cruise ships along with attractive concession in port-related charges, and lastly, biometric of passengers exempted in case of e-visa for 3 years for the ease of travel. Moving on, next question was asked by member B.K. Hariprasad, and he sought to know from Ministry of Power whether the ministry has submitted its request to revise regular revision of tariff. If so, the details of subsidy reduced if passed by the cabinet.
In the reply, the ministry says that as per the provisions of Electricity Act 2003, respective state electricity regulatory commissions determine the electricity tariff for retail supply of electricity to end consumers. Tariff policy issued by central government provides that the requisite tariff revision should come into effect from the date of commencement of each financial year. In case of a delay in tariff filing by the licensee, appropriate commissions should initiate tariff determination and regulatory scrutiny on a suo motu basis. The government further goes on to say that Section 65 of the Electricity Act 2003 provides that state government can provide subsidy to any consumer or class of consumers in the tariff determined by SERCs. Hence, central government has no role in providing subsidy to the consumers. Moving on to the next question that has been asked by member Shailja Kumari, and this one pertains to the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. And the member has asked the government whether it has conducted any study on safe and unsafe abortions in India.
Well, replying to the query, the ministry said that National Family Health Survey, or the NFHS, captures data on safe and unsafe abortions through following indicators: place of abortion, public health sector, private health sector, home, or other places where the abortion took place, persons who performed the abortion, doctors, nurses, dai family member, or any other entity or individual. Provisions of comprehensive abortion care services is an important program competent of reproductive, maternal, newborn, child and adolescent health plus nutrition program. In order to expand access to abortion services, National Health Mission provides support to states and union territories of various activities: capacity building of medical officers in safe abortion techniques, capacity building of ANMS and ASHAs to generate awareness and provide confidential counseling for safe abortion, post-abortion care and post-abortion contraception. Provisions of fund to states and union territories for procurement of equipments and drug, including pregnancy detection kits for early detection of pregnancy, and lastly, provision of funds for information, education and communication material, that is CAC posters, flip charts, leaflets, ASHA, ANM booklets, or anything which is related to it. Well, the next question was asked by the member Om Prakash Mathur, and he asked the Ministry of Finance about the limit and eligibility criteria for loans under Startup India scheme.
In the reply, the government says that the Stand Up India scheme was launched by Government of India on 5th of April 2016 to facilitate bank loan between 10 lakh rupees to 1 crore rupees to scheduled caste, scheduled tribe and women borrowers for setting up greenfield enterprises in manufacturing, services or also trading sectors. As on 4th of December 2019, a total of 80,126 loans have been sanctioned for greenfield projects under this scheme, and since inception involving a total sanction amount of 17,964.45 crore rupees. Out of these, as per information compiled by Small Industries Development Bank of India or SIDBI through the Stand Up Mitra portal, 330 accounts have turned into non-performing assets. The government says that it is trying to promote entrepreneurs across sections. So Rajat, these were the important questions and answers in this edition of Question Hour. But on the other side, we'll have Prashnakal in Hindi with our colleagues Arvind Singh and Kriti Singh. Please stay tuned to Rajya Sabha Television.